There's a certain type of person that you meet in life that can feel like it's a resin that's just wrapped up in a human body. That person's going to show up in a bind. They've got a damn story. And then you can see that they've got chaos behind them, just like a dust cloud. And if you're the kind of man who builds, right, and who helps, who gives people a shot, you're going to think, all right, maybe they just need some structure, or maybe they just need an opportunity. And sometimes that's true. But sometimes what they really need is access, right? A gate opened, getting that foothold. Because there are people who don't interpret help as kindness. No, they straight up just look at it as weakness. Like you're a mark, right? Like you're someone that they can push. And when you finally tighten the boundary up on them, they flip, right? Toxic, aggressive, destructive, verbose in the worst of ways. They just talk and talk and talk, not to understand anything, but just to drown you in their noise, to wear you out, and just to drag you into a debate where the goal isn't actually the truth. The goal is control. And good men can get trapped there because good men, we assume people play by the same rules that we play by. You know, we assume that the facts actually matter and that gratitude is a normal thing. And hell, we assume if we help someone that they're going to respect the line. Not everyone is built like that. Some people, they don't care about the law. They don't care about facts. They don't care what you did for them. They just care what they can take from you next. And if you've never dealt with that personality type, you'll make one big mistake. What you're going to do is you're going to try to make it all just make sense. And that is the trap, right? A person like that doesn't live in sense, right? They live in appetite and their impulse, controlled, looking for leverage. And they use volume to replace truth. Because if they can make you emotional, you're easier to control. And if they can make you explain yourself, well, they've got you off balance. All they want to do is make you look like the bad guy so that they can get some cover on their own actions. So you'll notice yourself doing it. You'll start explaining your intentions. You'll start defending your character, and you're going to start negotiating with someone who isn't negotiating. And that is going to drain you fast. Now, add another ingredient to that. Small town mountain life, right? If you live in a city, you can just go burn bridges for years and still find nuance, right? There's always another crowd, someone else to employ you, and there's always another group that doesn't know your history and your past, right? In a small town, though, you do not get infinite resets because people remember who brings chaos, right? They remember who also stays steady, though. They remember who's fair, but they also remember who's dangerous in the stupid way, right? So when somebody acts like a wrecking ball in a mountain town, it's not just a personal problem. It becomes a community problem. And the community, well, we solve those problems quietly, right? We'll do simple things too, like we'll stop answering calls. We're not going to give that person work. We do not extend grace. Doors shut. And that's why you can burn yourself out here really, really fast by being that type of person. And here's what I want you to hear, right? You do not win against this type by out-talking them. You don't win by matching their emotion. And you sure as hell aren't going to win by setting them straight, right? No. You only win by one way, and that's by becoming unmovable. You quiet, clean, and you go structured. Because compassion without boundaries isn't virtue, right? It's just an invitation. And some people are absolute professionals at accepting invitations. So, okay, what do? Well, this is the practical part. And I'm going to give it to you in a way that I hope keeps you out of trouble. First off, stop feeding the conversation. You don't need long talks. You don't need to defend yourself. Long conversations, that's where this type of person is going to hook you. You just give short statements and then you end it. Here are 3 boundary sentences, okay? And they work because they're clean. So the first one is just simple. No, that's not happening. Or 2, I'm not discussing this. Or 3, if you contact me again about this, it's going to be in writing only. Right? Those are China sentences that are short, they're clear, there's no extra oxygen to them. Second, put everything in writing. And don't do this because you're scared. You do it because you're smart. People like this, they'll rewrite history. They lie, they twist, they bait you into saying something emotional so that they can use it. So what you do is you move communication to text or to email, and you just keep it factual and brief, right? Third, you got to reduce your access immediately, because access, that's what they're after. They're after your time, your attention, your space, your resources. So you remove access like you're just shutting off valves in a system, right? No meetings alone, no, hey, let's talk this out in person. No hanging around, no open doors. Fourth, it's good to keep witnesses when possible. This is not for drama, but it's for clarity, right? If you have to interact, do it with someone else present, or in a public place, or just even better, not at all. Fifth, just document what matters, the dates, the times, what happened, what was said, hell, screenshots, right? And we're not doing this because we want revenge. We do it because if things escalate, you want the truth to be provable when you take actions to correct them. And here's the part I want you to swallow here, right? We don't try to handle it ourselves in a way that's going to risk our own future. I mean, I get the impulse. I really do. You want to put that person in their place. You want to protect what's yours. And you want to just make it stop. But in small towns, one bad moment can follow you for years. Just one angry text or threat or one physical confrontation that's not justified. One stupid move that felt good for 10 seconds. And then, guess what? You're the one in trouble. Then you're the one on the record, and you're the one explaining. So keep your discipline, right? Not passive, disciplined. You keep your hands clean. You keep your language clean. You keep your choices inside the law. And yes, if there's true danger, we all know that last resort line. And everybody knows what that is. But we don't run there first, right? But we also are not going to pretend that option doesn't exist. The goal is life safety, not my ego. So let me go a little deeper here, because this is the hard road lesson that I think is underneath all of it. A man's life is shaped by what he tolerates. So if you're going to tolerate disrespect for you or your family or people around you, it just grows. And if you tolerate manipulation by that person, it multiplies. And if you choose to tolerate that chaos, it just becomes your normal. So when you finally do cut it off, you don't cut it off emotionally. No, you cut it off structurally. Just final and clean and calm. And there's actually a simple test that helps you stop, second guessing yourself. So a person who can be helped, they feel shame when they cross a line. But a person who can't be helped feels anger that you noticed the line at all. And that right there, everybody, that's the tell. If someone consistently pushes you for having boundaries, they're not a friend. They're not a partner, right? They aren't a misunderstood person who just needs time, right? No, they are a threat to your peace. And peace is not a luxury, man. Peace is it's the foundation where your whole life gets built. Okay, so here's where I land, right? I'll help people. I will give chances. I will be fair, but I will not sacrifice my home, my work, my name, or my sanity trying to save someone who is just committed to chaos. Small towns don't forgive loud men, and neither should you. Stay steady, stay clean, stay disciplined, let your boundaries speak for you. Because that, my friends, that is the hard road.